All right, I'm going to prove to you that the president told a lie and is using scare tactics for seniors. Federal government receives approximately $200 billion in revenues every month. The national debt interest in August is going to be $29 billion. Social Security, $49 billion. Medicare, Medicaid, $50 billion. Active duty military pay, $2.9 billion. Veterans Affairs, $2.9 billion. And there's $39 billion left over. Not a lot. I'm not saying that we don't need more money. But what I am saying here is to use seniors as a pawn in this, political chess game of his is unconscionable.
Okay, but Sean, every president has raised the debt ceiling. George Bush did it 7 times.
And Obama voted against it as a senator.
I don't care whether he voted for or against it. Right now is the time to sit down and compromise.
But when they raised it under Clinton, the Republicans
cuts.
extracted tax cuts and also pretty deep spending cuts as well. Not that we're saying that people aren't asking for tax cuts now, but they're asking that, for some skepticism about this request for new revenue.
Loopholes for oil and gas companies.
That's a totally legit issue.
But okay, why do you throw Obama a pass? He said, I'm not raising the debt ceiling as a senator.
Now
it's a catastrophe. No. Why do you give him a pass?
I didn't give him a pass.
He didn't raise the debt ceiling and for George Bush, but now he's demanding that we raise it or we face a catastrophe. So he's either full of crap then or he's full of crap now.
Listen. Everybody in political office will feel one way one time for various reasons, and another time. And that doesn't mean somebody's lying.
You know that you're good.
You're right. You're good. Thank you very much. But here's the other thing. Under Bush, right, we had an SEC where the banks ran crazy, Wall Street ran crazy, an SEC that...
And under President Clinton as well.
Madoff, you couldn't find Madoff. I'll tell you what, they're so bad, Sean, they could not find a prostitute in a whorehouse.
I think that I wish more.
I got you laughing.
I wish more people were talking about the proposed bill to cut, cap, and balance the budget.
I agree with you.
That's what Jim DeMint and Ron Johnson from Wisconsin are proposing, and it's an excellent idea.
It's a great idea. It's the best idea.
Balance the budget. Bill Clinton wanted to do it, and in the 90s, a Democratic president in charge of the White House and a Republican Congress were able to do this.
I think that is my first choice. I want to be very clear on this. Cut, cap, and balance. And the cut's got to be now, not 15 years from now. But here's the problem.
Long-term solution.
I don't have any confidence the Democrats in the Senate or this president would ever go near it. Jay Carney even said that the president won't support a balanced budget amendment.
But at least if the American public sees Republicans doing that at a united front, then they won't lose the American opinion.
One big problem we have is that the sides don't trust each other, and for good reason. If you're going to make a long-term deal, you have to have credibility of commitments. And the problem is that if you make a deal right now, 2 years down the road, you say, oh, well, the economy's picked up, so we're just going to start spending again, exactly as we were planning to before. That's the problem. There's no trust, and it's totally reasonable. The Republicans, the last time, they were going to say, "Oh, we're going to get these cuts," and then everyone was joking about how those cuts didn't actually materialize. Exactly.
All right, but let me ask you a question.
That's why there's the skepticism.
I contend that if they don't listen to the mandate that was given them in 2010, and apparently Eric Cantor and Boehner are sticking strong here, and I hope they do. But they themselves are going to pay a political price, the equivalent, I believe, of read my lips, no new tax.
But I think Boehner and the Republican leaders can make a deal with the president, but can they sell it to their membership? That's the problem.
Well, there are some conservatives that are saying they were insisting on the balanced budget amendment, and by the way, which I think the country needs. Politicians have not shown.
Nobody has a problem with a balanced budget, but can you do it in a recession?
All right. So should we have an up and down vote on the balanced budget amendment? And Obama says
you can't do it right now
because of the president. Why won't the president support that?
Because you don't have the revenues.
Are you satisfied with the vote, or do you need it to get 2/3? Well, that's the question.
This is a symbolic thing right now.
I think it ought to be a political issue. I want everybody on record where they stand, because I think the American public has woken up that we are literally taking a sledgehammer to our kids' futures. In other words, your future. You're younger than a lot of us, and your kids and grandkids.
We are carrying this debt as citizens on our heads. I think that we forget that each of us really owes the government money, and we're going to have to pay this. And my children, our children,
I personally
we all want to get out of debt. Absolutely.
Why did Obama spend us into oblivion, and why do you defend it?
Because you're in a deep recession. He hasn't spent us into oblivion.
$1.65 trillion, but
come on.
All right, that's all the time we have left. Good to see everybody. Thank you. Let not your heart be troubled. Greta's next, and we'll see you tomorrow night.